without showing any emotions. When the computer voice asks him for details, Roy confesses he recognizes the baboon's rage as his own. He's always had rage in him because his dad left. However, if he looks under the rage, all he finds is hurt, which is keeping him away from relationships. The co-pilot takes over captain duties and Roy becomes the co-pilot in his place. When they finally approach Mars, they're hit by a power surge and the ship needs to be landed manually instead of using the auto landing sequence. The pilot is too scared to react, so Roy takes over the controls and lands the ship himself, promising his partner he won't report him to Spacecom. The crew makes it to the Ursa research station, where Roy meets Director Helen. She doesn't know about the secret mission either, so she only gets to escort him to the building where the other employees are working in confidence. Roy is given a very cold pre-written message to read, promising Clifford they're here to help and that they need any data he may have. Unfortunately, they don't get any replies and the technicians decide to try again later. Roy spends some time in the comfort room, where he tries to decide if he hopes to find his dad or wants to be free from him. When the time comes to send another message, Roy drops the script they gave him and begins talking from the heart. He mentions childhood memories and the fact he's become an astronaut too, expressing his wish to see his father again. Roy waits to see what happens and notices the technicians getting excited around the comms, meaning they got an answer. However, when Roy asks to hear the message, the higher-ups don't give him access to it and announce he'll be sent back to Earth because his personal connection makes him unfit for the mission. On his way out, Roy notices a crew is getting ready to travel, but they ignore his questions. Before going to Earth, they put Roy through another psych evaluation, but his desperation and anger finally make him crack and mess with his biorhythms, thus he's sent back to the comfort room for the time being. Sometime later, Helen visits Roy to get some answers. At first Roy tries to keep the secret, but Helen changes his mind by explaining she was born here on Mars and that her parents died in the Lima project. The higher-ups made her prepare a rocket with nuclear munitions, which will be leaving for Neptune soon, and she wants to know why. Roy tells her the little he knows, and Helen responds by sharing a video they received some time ago. It turns out Clifford is indeed alive, and screams can be heard